Hi everyone. I wanted to post a short video going through the Excel tutorial workbook that I've posted. I love this workbook because it shows you a lot of the common functions of Excel, and it also goes through things like the VLOOKUP and the if statements that are a little more advanced. Plus it gives you a lot of resources to look up more information and other places to start, plus advanced tips. So let's look at the Excel workbook that I've posted. It's called Excel Beginning Guide. And you notice in here, there's a first page with a Start tab at the bottom. And you see all of these different tabs along the bottom. Excel allows you to have different worksheets within the same workbook. So here, the first worksheet is called Start, and it's on this tab. And we see there's a nice button here that says Let Go, so we'll click that to start the tour. And notice that it takes us to the next worksheet, which is called Basics. And here you can practice doing some basic math with Excel, and it talks about addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and it tells you right here exactly what to type in the cell. So to add, you would select F3 and type equals C3 plus C4, and you see that it adds up the numbers in cells C3 and C4. And over here is subtraction, so equals, and we can click on the cells as well, this one minus this one, and it gives us a -1, and it shows you what the correct answer should be here so that you can check your formulas are right. So if you've never used Excel before, this is a great introduction to how it works. In addition, if you have used Excel before, often there's more information down here that tells you about how to name your cells and how to work through things. And there's a lot of things in here that maybe you didn't know about some of these rather ordinary functions in Excel. Additionally, at the bottom of every tab, there's more information on the web where it links you to different features that you can look up related to this. So we move along this tab and we see here Introduction to Functions. So we're starting to do functions and formulas in Excel. And it talks about the sum function. So for instance here, we have 4 different kinds of fruit, and if we click on this cell, we can see that it says equals sum D3 through D6. It's adding up these cells starting with D3, D4, D5, and D6. And we can practice the same thing here, equals sum, and then select those cells and hit enter, and we see that it will add it up for us. So it goes through each of these tutorial pages for a lot of different common functions that we do in Excel. Here's a page on finding the average, and here's a page on finding the minimum and maximum. These 3 things are really useful in the assignments that we have in the class. There are also pages on how Excel handles date and time, which is also very different. Here's joining text and numbers, which is called concatenation. So it talks about how we can concatenate and put these cells together using the ampersand sign up here that we see. And it talks about how to join different dates and numbers and such. The next page I love because it's if statements, and if statements are very, very useful in Excel. If statements are a great way to write functions, and I find myself using these at work all the time. Additionally, there's information down here on named ranges, which is a really useful thing to use in Excel, especially if you're going to be using this workbook over and over. Next, one of the most useful formulas in Excel is VLOOKUP. And this is so useful, I'll be doing a whole video just on this. But the VLOOKUP example in here is excellent. I love this layout, which has where do you want to look, what do you want to look for, where do you find it, false or exact match. This is an excellent tutorial on VLOOKUP, which allows you to do some practice over here. I love this VLOOKUP tutorial in this Excel beginning guide. It goes on to conditional functions using sum if and sum if s. Then it introduces the function wizard, where you can look up different kinds of functions in the function wizard. And finally, it gives you information about errors and fixing your errors, because this is absolutely critical. If you do complicated formulas and functions in Excel, you are going to come up with errors where you're not sure what it's doing. And by clicking on the error and looking at error checking, you can really find out what Excel is doing and why, and you can troubleshoot and debug that error. And this is really, really useful in Excel. So I highly recommend working through this workbook. Even if you've used Excel before, I can almost guarantee it's going to show you some things that you haven't seen before, and that you'll be glad that you learned. So I've posted that. Go ahead and take a look, and thank you very much for watching.